Let me taste it. Ah, smells so nice. It's got that little vanilla flavor to it.
And it's moist.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that is good warm.
Was it?
Good job, hon.
Thank you, babe. Hey, hi, this is Amy Roloff, and I'm in my little kitchen again. I tell you, I tried to do a lot of this during all of 2020 COVID. I will admit, I did not take advantage of being locked down in the house as much as I wanted to, or as much as I could. So I'm kind of bummed, but here we are into the new year, winter time. And I am making a apple cake. I don't think it's your traditional apple cake because it's not like an apple crumb cake. It's very similar, but to me, this reminds me more of, I don't know, I looked online at all the different versions of it. It's been so long since I've made something like this. And typically I make an apple crumb cake, but I wanted to go a little bit lighter, a little bit, I wouldn't say fancier, but it's kind of like the French apple cake. We'll see how this goes. Like I said, it's been a long time since I've made this. So I'm looking at a past recipe that I have and I'm kind of modifying it. Anyway, it is winter time. I wanted something light and fun and springy. In fact, later on, I am going to make meatloaf and mashed potatoes and gravy. Just kind of a comfort dinner food for Chris and I. And typically I would pair that with like rich dark chocolate chip cookies or a chocolate cake or maybe even an apple pie or something along those lines. But I don't know, I just felt like something a little bit lighter. So we're going to try and do an apple cake, a little bit fancier, a little bit lighter, not all this crumb topping on top or frosting or caramel and all that other good stuff, which is very good. Believe me, it is tempting to do. In fact, with this apple cake, you can even drizzle like a light caramel sauce over it, but don't drown it, just something really light. Anyway, let's get going. So what do I have here? Well, I've got a half a cup of melted butter. I don't want to tip it too much because it'll spill over. Only 1 cup of flour. I backed off a little bit on my sugar, so it's about 2/3 cup of sugar. I was gonna say, maybe I should only do a half. Anyway, we're gonna give it a try at 2/3 cup of sugar. 1 teaspoon of baking powder. I've got 2 apples, or 1.5. I'm gonna peel this one and cut that up for you. But try and get a good apple that when you bake it or when you cook it, it's not gonna really turn soft and mushy within your baked product. Granny apples, I think, are very much a staple, and it really depends on what kind of, where in the country you're at. I think Granny Smiths are available anywhere, but certain apples are more prominent. Like I grew up in Michigan, and I think Macintosh were huge in Michigan. I can barely get them out here, out in the Northwest. So find a really good, kind of like baking apple. Granny Smith, I think I've done Fuji, Braeburn, Gala may hold up well. I know not everyone can get like Honeycrisp or Pink Lady or whatever it is in certain areas. So whatever apples you have in your area, try and get like a really good baking one. So I've 2 baking apples, 2 eggs at room temperature. In fact, I just pulled these out of the fridge, so I just put them in lukewarm water just to temper them a little bit to room temperature. So I'm gonna dump this water out. Dump the water out before it goes all over the place. And I've got a little lemon juice, and I'm gonna do some lemon zest in this as well, because I think that'll add some really good freshness and just a little bit of that citrusy stuff. So, oh yes, we can't forget vanilla. I mean, come on, vanilla. So let's get started. We're gonna make an apple cake. Hi, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you are enjoying it, and I would really appreciate it if you liked it and subscribed to it. And oh, don't forget to click that little bell up there, and you'll be notified of future videos that are new and coming on my YouTube channel. So thank you so much for that. And I would really appreciate it if you shared the video and let other people know and encourage them to subscribe and like the videos as well. So anyway, thank you, and back to the video. Okay, I'm gonna finish peeling my apple here, and I have a Braeburn apple and I have a Granny Smith. I know some people may not be a fan of mixing apples, but I don't know. I think it's kind of fun. I don't have a problem with it. Usually if you use kind of, in general, the same kind of apple, meaning this is gonna be a good baking apple, and so will a Granny Smith. I would not, use an apple that, is gonna be a lot softer or could kind of turn mushy in a Granny Smith, because you'll definitely have different textures. But I didn't have enough Granny Smith, and I had these two apples in my fridge, so we are gonna hope for the best. And you just wanna slice this up. Not too thin, but not too thick. Because I think for a cake like this, since it's gonna be a little bit on the delicate side, you kind of want the slices, and as you chop them up, about, I don't know, half an inch or less. A little more in uniform sizes. I remember doing this cake a long time ago, and I sliced them, even though it's in a batter, so you had like these layers of apple slices. But I went ahead and did this. Let me get rid of this. Where's my trash bowl? I'll just put it in this. I'll just put it in the measuring cup here. Okay, and then we're gonna just do about a tablespoon of lemon juice. So I am just gonna cut this lemon about in a third, because I think I can get enough lemon juice out of it. But we're also going to do a little lemon zest. How do I want to do this? You know what? I want to do this in the egg and sugar mixture. So I'm going to just put a little lemon juice in the egg. A little lemon zest in the egg sugar mixture and vanilla, because I think it'll uniformly be a lot better off than if I just put it on the apples, like I would like apple pie. Besides, I don't think I have big enough bowl for the apples. Here we go. Where's my lemon thing? And we're just gonna do this. I love this squeezer thing. Definitely 1 tablespoon. So I only used like about a third of this lemon. Let me get a spoon. Tell you, sometimes I don't think I'm that organized for y'all. So we're just gonna kind of scoop that, mix that all in, the lemon juice and the apple. And you know what? This will really help to prevent the apples from turning too brown. I'm just gonna set this aside. Where's a fork? Oh my goodness. Usually I go over there for a fork. Here's my flour. And then just gonna add like a half a teaspoon of salt, but I'm just gonna do a little pinch. Add my baking powder, a half a teaspoon of baking powder with the flour mixture. So I'll just add a little dash more for extra measure. But I would be very careful, because when you're baking, I have learned sometimes I want to deviate, not a good thing. And you have to be a little more exact on this. So we're just going to use the fork, mix this up a little bit. Okay, there we go. Let's mix in our eggs. 2 eggs. I'm just going to give this a little whisk or a little blend. And I'm going to add in my sugar. So about 2/3 cup of sugar. We're going to whisk this a little bit. So it's really mixed in and the sugars combined with the eggs. This will probably look a little grainy and thick, but that's okay. I think that's good. Let me give it a little measure. A little more. I wanted it a little bit more fluffy. So the next part of all of this, we are going to mix in half of our flour, then half of our butter, mix that in, do a half of the remainder amount of flour, and then our butter. We want to make sure that it's all combined. Okay, so I'm just going to eyeball it. And about half of our butter. Half of our flour again. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? Oh my goodness. I hope I didn't ruin it. Okay, we're just going to add a little vanilla to it. It's about a teaspoon. Teaspoon of vanilla. Okay, there we go. Oops. So the remainder of our flour. And the rest of our butter. I think that's good. I want to scoop this a little bit so that I make sure that my no flour is down on the bottom. I don't think it is. And then let's add in our apples. Okay, did I forget anything? I hope not. We'll just fold in the apples. This looks like a lot of apples. Maybe that's why they call it apple cake. Just fold it in. Make sure that it's all mixed in, that every piece of apple has touched the cake batter. Okay. Now we're ready to put it in the cake pan. Okay, we're ready to put it in our pan. Now, because the batter is a little bit thick, a springform pan would really work well in this. But the only sizes that I had was a 12-inch, and that's a little bit too big, because you don't want the cake to be, what, a ½ inch thick. You want it to have some rise to it. So I had this little pottery kind of baking pie dish cake pan thing. So I thought I'd try it in here. I'm hoping it will go good. I greased my pan, but because this wasn't a spring foam pan, and I really wanted to make sure that the cake comes out, I did put parchment paper in here. Of course, I put the pie thing down and I drew a little circle around it. I cut it. I had to cut a little bit more off. So anyway, I did put parchment paper down here, down on the bottom of the pan. Whoops. Oh dear. And I greased it with butter. So let's get our batter in here. And I did switch out for a spatula because I think it'll be easier to get the batter out and much easier to spread the cake. Here we go. And I tell you, I'm a big fan of scraping every little bit of the batter out of the bowl. Because why not? That's good stuff. Okay, did my paper move? Better not. So we're just gonna try and evenly spread it out. There's gonna be a lot of apples in here. So you just wanna really make sure you just try and press down just ever so slightly, not hard, just to get some of the air pockets out. Okay, and then what I'm going to do here, see, I even try and get every little bit off of the spoon, because do you know how tempting it is to lick the spoon? Oh, I do it all the time. Okay, I forgot to leave out my sugar. I'm gonna dust this with a little bit of granulated sugar, and that will help brown the top of the cake as well. Okay, I went ahead and got some granulated sugar because I forgot, and I'm just gonna sprinkle a little bit on. Not a lot, because I think there's already enough sugar in this cake, but just enough that'll help brown the top of this. So this is only like, I don't know, maybe a half a tablespoon or a teaspoon. Okay, I think that's enough. Since this is a pottery pan, feel free to use a regular, cake pan as well. I'm just gonna tap it just to make sure all the air pockets are out, or if I missed any as I was smoothing it out. So here we go in a 375-degree oven, and you'll want to cook it for anywhere from 40 to 50 minutes. Put a toothpick in there and test it and make sure none of it comes out still wet. Anyway, so 375-degree oven, and cook about, I'm going to say 45 to 50 minutes until it's a nice golden top on here. Here we go. Okay, I'll see you back here when it's all done. Okay, all I can tell you is that I'm loving the smell in my kitchen. Even though Chris and I kind of made a New Year's goal, I'm not gonna say resolution, a goal, not to have as many sweets, I could not resist making stuff. So anyway, look at how nice and golden this apple cake is. I cannot wait to have a bite. I cannot wait to taste it. Now, let me see if this will come out of this little baking dish. I debated whether to keep it in here because obviously I made it in here, because look at this. This is a nice little, this is a locally made pottery dish, and I absolutely love it. But I thought for this kind of cake, this kind of thing, it would be better if it was kind of like on a nice little pedestal plate, and I just dusted it with powdered sugar. In fact, I probably shouldn't have done that anyway, because I am going to kind of go like this. Oh no, I don't want that either. Oh my goodness, how am I gonna get this out? Oh, this is what I'll do. I'll take a light plate, go like this. Ooh, did it come out okay? Yes, the parchment paper worked. Go like that. Ooh. Oh, maybe I should let it cool a little bit. Then I'm gonna go like this. Let's see. Whoa! Will I make it? Oh yeah, there we go. And on here even. Okay, there we go. Oops. Man, that was hairy. That was very scary. I don't have big enough hands to kind of, you know, brace the whole thing here. And what I think it'll look really nice on this apple cake, because this isn't like an apple crumb cake where you got a lot of cinnamon and, you know, a cake. I think this is, and I'm not really going to call it like a custard cake either. I don't know, this is just a very light, delicate, but full of apples kind of apple cake. But I think it'll be nice. I don't know, I changed up a little bit of the ingredients, the amount. A lot of people online called it a French apple cake. Maybe that's what it is, I don't know. But I'm kind of liking it. And so there we go. Apple cake. Look at how pretty this looks. I think it's gonna be light and delicate. So thank you for joining me at Amy Roloff's Little Kitchen and making the apple cake with me, being a part of my kitchen, my world, the thing I love. You can find this recipe and all the other recipes and videos and printables over at amyroloffslittlekitchen.com or on my YouTube channel. So now guess what I want to do? I'm going to take a bite. Chris, you want to take a bite with me?
I want a bite.
Well, come on over. I'm going to have Chris join us.
I was hoping you would invite me for a bite. That looks good.
I know, see, this is a different than an apple crumb cake.
Yeah.
Because it's, you know, like more of a cake.
Huh.
And, you know, this has a little more sugar, less flour. So we're just going to have a little bite.
I can smell the apples.
I know, can't you? I hope so. Here, let me get a little plate out.
Okay.
Okay. Here, you want to hold that for me? Let's get this thing out of the way. Okay. It's still warm, so I don't
Great.
know. Okay.
Ooh.
Wait a minute, can we see the layers of apples in there?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, if you guys could see that, the little layers of apples in chunks. Look at this. You can't even see it, but look at the steam come up. Oh, okay. I'm so excited. Look at how light and delicate this is. Oh no, wait a minute. We're going to get a fork, babe.
Oh,
I know, you just want to dig right in.
I do.
Okay, here you
Who
go.
needs a fork?
Here, let me taste it. Ah, smells so nice. It's got that little vanilla flavor to it.
And it's moist.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that is good warm.
Was it?
Good job, hon.
Thank you, babe.
Oh,
And just a hint of lemon.
wow.
You can't taste a lot of it, but because of the lemon that I put with the apples to mix it up to prevent the apples from turning brown, and I did add a little lemon zest, but I think that adds to it.
Well, what I like is it's not too sweet and it's not too tart.
Yeah. Okay, this is a hit, you guys. Go to amyroloffslittlekitchen.com, find this recipe, apple cake, and I think it'll be a hit with your family too. So, or on my YouTube channel. We're gonna. Oh, he's taking it from me. What? Okay, let me have a bite. Okay, are we gonna like this with our dessert for tonight's dinner?
Absolutely.
Or for breakfast, or for lunch. get-togethers with coffee. I think this cake will go good with anything. Mm.
That is good.
Okay. Oh, I love it.
I do too.
Okay.
Good job.
Here we go.
Mm.